Hi, I'm former Eagles punter Sean Landetta, and you're watching CI TV.
Hello and welcome to another edition of CITV Sports. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. Today is Wednesday, April 5th, 2017. We're at the Victory Fields in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania for non-league boys lacrosse showdown featuring the North Penn Knights of Lansdale, Pennsylvania and the Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials of Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. The Knights enter this one 1-1 while the Colonials are 2-4. North Penn is coached by Rick Smith in his 7th season. He's 45-67, while the Colonials are led by Brian Gregg in his 3rd season. He's 25-18. This is the 4th meeting between the two teams in which each head coach had been at the helm against each other. North Penn has won the last 2 meetings. In fact, the last time these two teams faced off against each other was on May 17, 2016, the first round of the District 1 playoffs. 22nd seeded PW lost at 11 North Penn 9-8. PW entered the 4th quarter up a goal. It was North Penn's first ever playoff victory. The Knights went on to then lose in the 2nd round at Garnet Valley 15-5, and now we are going to do the handshake exchange at midfield. We have 4 quarters, 12 minutes apiece, running clock. This is a non-league game. North Penn is in Suburban 1 National. PW in Lacrosse, Continental American. Last season, North Penn was 16-4, 9-3 in the Continental Conference. 1 game back of CB East, was 2nd place. Had win streaks of 9 and 5 games. And now we're going to have the opening face-off. At center. North Penn in powder blue, PW in all white. North Penn starting left to right, PW right to left. And it is won by the Knights. Now here's North Penn. Uniform 5, Eric Diamond. Diamond this season has 4 goals. He leads the Knights in that category. Diamond gets it stripped by the Colonials. And that is going to now go behind the goal. It's North Penn 0, PW 0, 11:20 to go in the 1st quarter. PW has been to the District 1 playoffs in each of the past 8 seasons, although 1-8 in those appearances. The lone win came in 2012 against Avon Grove and Plymouth Meeting, 8-7 overtime, then lost 14-6 at Central Bucks East in the 2nd round. PW in control in the white. Now we'll go into the goal. That's Vince Martina, cap 11, uniform 11. And that is saved by the goalkeeper, Matt Rink. It's the first save of the game for either team. And now North Penn in control. There's Reese Adinsky, uniform 7, and that's going to be out of play. North Penn got there first, so the Knights with the possession. 10:33 to go in the 1st quarter, 0-0. Adinsky tried to feed it inside. Eric Diamond with it, and it will go the other way. Mike Ionelli with it now for the Colonials. Now PW's behind the goal. Rink is waiting for it in the cage. Martina. Fed it to Colin Kassan. Now with it is Alex Savares. Savarus. Now goes inside. That was off the pipe. And the battle for it, it will go the other way to the Knights. And the coaching staff not pleased for the Colonials. 9:26 to go in the first quarter. North Penn 0, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0. PW has played 6 games, have scored fewer than 10 in 5 of them. In fact, they have not scored double-digit goals in 4 consecutive games. The last time they had not scored in 5 straight games was April 11, 2014 to April 21st, 2014. They went 1-4 in that stretch, even lost 15-0 against Upper Dublin. Now there's Reese Adinsky, free sport athlete ticketed for Virginia Military Institute for football. He quarterbacked the Knights football team in fall 2016 to the District 1 6A title over Garnet Valley, 48-38. That was sweet revenge for Adinsky because last year Garnet Valley Lacrosse took out North Penn in the second round of district playoffs. And now the Colonials with it, that's off the stick. And it will go to the Knights. So North Penn 0, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0, 8:34 to go in the first quarter. Now it will be important to mention later on that in the last 2 minutes of regulation, there are new stalling rules that will be in effect for the team that's ahead by 4 goals or less. If the score differential in those last 2 minutes are 5 or more, neither team is forced to keep the ball in the goal area unless warned to keep it in. That will be important when we get to that final stretch. Now the Knights will fit. And the flag is thrown, so we'll have a power play. Here's Adinsky, feeds it inside, and now we'll get the penalty. It will be our first power play, and it'll be player up for the Knights. We have substitutions. It's a 1-minute personal foul, a body check on uniform 12. And now it's a power play for the Knights. That was Kenny Diamond who was guilty. Now the Knights will fit. Nick Kime. Adinsky puts it in. Boom! Shakalaka! Reese Adinsky scores, and it's North Penn 1, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0 with 7:46 to go in the first quarter. So Adinsky with 7:46 to go in the first quarter. The Knights have a 1-0 lead. It's Adinsky's 4th goal of the season. He had 1 goal in North Penn's last game, a 12-6 loss at Downingtown East back on March 28th. North Penn's first game was a 13-7 win against Lansdale Catholic on March 24th. Adinsky had 2 goals and 7 assists in that one. So the power play had ended. The Knights cashed in up 1-0 over the Colonials, 7:30 to go in the first quarter. The Colonials are going right to left. The Knights right now left to right. The Knights are in powder blue and white. PW in all white. It's Martina. Feeds it to Alex Savarus. Back to Martina. Martina is going ahead. Mal shoot in there. It is denied by Matt Rink. Now there's a battle for the ball. And puts that in there. Nice save by Matt Rink. That one was going right down the gut. And Rink says, no, I'm not going to let that in. And there's a whistle. There's a push. Brian Gregg not pleased with the officiating right now. And another flag is thrown. It looks like it will be the second power play in favor of North Penn. And it's the second penalty against PW, this time against Alex Zavaris. Check that, Kenny Diamond. Kenny Diamond is uniform 12. So the Knights looking to go up 2 here with 6:20 to go in the first quarter. Up 1-0 thanks to the goal by Reese Udinsky. At the 6:01 mark, he'll be able to check back in.
Kenny, 601.
Danny Payne, uniform 1 now feeding it. And Udinsky puts it in. Boom! Shakalaka. Second goal of the game for Reese Udinsky. That one comes with 6:08 to go in the first quarter. And it's now North Penn 2, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0. Second game this season, Udinsky has scored twice. It's his 5th of the year. Boy, nice feed inside for Udinsky. He plays football, basketball, and lacrosse. The North Penn basketball team made the state tournament, as well as the football team winning the district title this past football season. Fortunately, the Knights lost in football state semifinal action against eventual state champ St. Joe's Prep. And now here come the Knights. Behind the cage. Now North Penn with it still. Rick Smith and coaching staff giving the signs. Well, Rick Smith has done a great job recently. Before this season, before last season that is, from 2011 to 2015, the most wins the Knights had was 7, and that was twice. And now puts it in there, off the cage. And that post saves the day for the Colonials at the time being. 5:16 to go in the first quarter. North Penn 2, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0. That is stolen away by the Knights. Nick Kime feeds it outside. Udinsky is the first to get to it. PW's last game was on April 3rd. That was at Westchester Henderson, a 15-6 loss. And again, PW has scored fewer than 10 goals in 4 consecutive games. The 2 wins this year have been against Neshaminy and Lower Merion. That one goes through. Boom! Shakalaka. 3-0 North Penn. And it's now a 3-0 lead for North Penn. That PW had lost both meetings last year against the Knights. In fact, opened the regular season against each other back in 2016, March 24th, 2016. The Knights won 17-8 in Lansdale. And the PW has not defeated North Penn since April 27, 2015, 10-9 in overtime. PW wins the faceoff, but has a 3-0 hole. Vince Martina will come back in for the Colonials. 44:35 to go in the first quarter. North Penn has a 3-0 advantage. Hasn't played in a week, but not looking rusty. Martina to Kenny Diamond. Diamond feeds it ahead. Now to Alex Savaris. Savaris to Martina. Martina will go inside. He'll feed it now. The trigger was going to be pulled there by Diamond, but he loses control and is stolen away by the Knights. That was by Sam Dardzinski, uniform 6, who took it away. Reese Udinsky feeds it inside. Boom! Shakalaka. Max Lehrman scores the 4th goal for North Penn. 3:41 to go in the first quarter. Timeout, Plymouth Whitemarsh. Not a very good start for the Colonials. And this is a PW team that has been to the playoffs in each of the past 8 seasons. Suburban One Sports is the place to get your information on Suburban One League teams. Please visit Suburban One Sports at www.suburban1sports.com. So it's a timeout for Plymouth Whitemarsh. Brian Gregg in his third season for PW, taking over for Phil Chang, who had been the head coach since the start of the program. I believe that was back in 2004. So looking ahead, North Penn with 3:41 to go in the first quarter, 4-goal lead. This is the second of 5 consecutive road games. In fact, the next 3 on April 7th at Neshaminy, April 10th at Wissahickon, and April 13th at Shipley before returning back for a home game against Penridge, April 18th in Lansdale. PW, first game back at home after a 3-game road trip, in which the Colonials went 1-2, lost 13-5 at Central Bucks West on March 30th, won at Lower Marion April 1st, 7-6 in overtime, and recently lost at Westchester Henderson, 15-6 on April 3rd. Again, there are 4 12-minute quarters, running clock. And again, I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss, 2011 Plymouth Whitemarsh alumnus. The NPW has 1 playoff win ever in this sport. That was back in 2012, an 8-7 overtime first-round win. Lost the following round 14-6, finished that season 15-4. The 2017 District 1 3A Boys Lacrosse playoffs are scheduled to begin on May 16th, 2017. This is going to be the first time in which there were multiple classifications. Before AA and AAA, there was just one lacrosse tournament. No separate classifications. So this year, there are going to be 39 teams in 3A District 1. 24 will go to the playoffs. The top 8 will get first-round byes. And right now, PW at 2-4. We'll have a lot of work to do. And that one is won by the Colonials. PW has a lot of work to do. Again, PW has not scored double-digit goals in 4 consecutive games. Vince Martina. And the Colonials are going right to left in this quarter in the white uniforms, North Penn in blue and white. Wiesadinski scored the first 2 goals of this contest. Max Lerman had the last one at 3:41 to go in the first quarter. Approaching 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, North Penn 4, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0. Alex Savarez has it. Passes to Colin Kassan. Kassan to Mike Iannarelli. Now Kenny Diamond. Diamond also a member of the boys soccer and diving teams. But so far, player of this game is Reese Adinsky, and we have almost 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Iannarelli feeds it to Martina. Martina to Kenny Diamond. Diamond moving to the side. He'll move ahead. Kassan. Kassan trying to find room against Matt Rank, the goalkeeper. Iannarelli will feed it in. It gets it blocked. North Penn, with those goals, have now scored in 122 consecutive games. The last time North Penn had been shut out was April 27, 2010, a 13-0 loss against Happoa Horsham. PW has given up goals now in 12 straight games. Fire in the hole, boom, shakalaka! Vince Martina puts PW on the board. It's now North Penn 4, Plymouth Whitemarsh 1 with 1:39 to go in the first quarter. So Vince Martina gets the Colonials on the board. PW has now scored in 45 consecutive games. The last time they did not score in the game was May 13, 2014, a 14-0 loss at Avon Grove in the first round of the district playoffs. That was Phil Chang's last game as PW's head coach. So 4-1. That ends the 4-0 North Penn run, and the face-off is going to be won by the Colonials. Another flag flying. Should be man up for the Colonials. It's a cross check against North Penn, and it's the first power play opportunity for the Colonials. It will take us to the 31-second mark to go in the first quarter. Christian Sear, Nikki, the guilty party. Check that, actually, wrong team. Stephen Rink is the guilty party. So Rink booked for a minute. Now fires. Saved by Matt Rink. The minute 10 to go in the first quarter. 4-1 North Penn. North Penn scored the first 4 of this one. The first 2 were scored by Reese Adinsky. Max Lerman. 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Still got about 20 seconds to go on the man up. North Penn is 2 for 2. But it is a player down for the Knights. That one is batted back. North Penn doesn't notice it. It was dropped. There's 4 on the power play. And PW can't cash in. So the penalty kill works for the Knights. 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. 4-1 North Penn over the host Colonials. And North Penn is 1-1. PW 2-4. 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Cannot get the ball off. And North Penn will get it. 13 to go in the first quarter. And North Penn going left to right.
7, 6, 5,
Eric Laughlin with it. Laughlin fires. It is batted away. And that is the end of the first quarter. After the first 12 minutes of regulation, it's North Penn 4, Plymouth Whitemarsh 1. In fact, the Knights scored their 4 goals in a 4-minute and 5-second span, including the first 2 by Reese Adinsky. The last one was by Lax Lerman. Vince Martina got the Colonials on the board with 1:39 to go in the first quarter. So North Penn was 2 for 2 in the power play. PW was 0-1 on the man up. Colonial Instructional Television is the home of the Colonial School District. We provide school board meetings, concerts, sporting events, and more. Visit us online, www.colonialsd.org/community/CITV. If you go on to the CITV section of the Colonial School District website, you'll see that we have our upcoming sports schedule temporarily listed. Includes more lacrosse, baseball, and softball. Current conditions here on this April 5th, 2017, around 68 Fahrenheit, feels like 70. Nice and sunny. Most of the spring so far has been dreary and rainy. So North Penn up 4-1. And so far this school year has been really good for Plymouth Whitemarsh. In fact, 4 sports teams have gone on to the District 1 quarterfinals, 3 to the district semis, 2 to the district final. In fact, the 2 teams for PW to go to the district final were girls volleyball in the fall, girls basketball in the winter. Both of those teams were undefeated in the regular season, but lost in the district final. Now, the girls basketball team also did lose in the Suburban 1 League playoffs before the district playoffs. Both of those teams had Lauren Cassia and Taylor O'Brien as well. Lauren Cassia ticketed for Cabrini University for both volleyball and basketball. And it'll be interesting to see where Taylor O'Brien will choose because she's a junior already with almost 1,400 career points for girls basketball. The school scoring record is Nikki Flacco with, I believe, 1615. Now, the all-time record, I think, is 1641 for boys by Thomas Young. Now we're going to have a face-off to start the second quarter. 12 more minutes to go in the first half. The teams switch sides this quarter. PW is shooting left to right. North Penn right to left. North Penn is in the powder blue and white. PW all white. And now we're going to have player substitutions for both Wick Smith and Brian Gregg squads. Colonials with the possession. Vince Martina has the last goal of the game. It was 1:39 to go in the first quarter. PW came into this game averaging 7 goals a contest, allowing 9.3 a game. Interesting to mention, last season North Penn had 14 games in which the Knights scored 10 or more goals. And with the way the Knights are going right now, could be the second of the year unless the Colonials defense improves. And that's going to be stolen away by the Knights. Rick Smith and company not pleased with that call. It is a foul. And it'll be Plymouth Whitemarsh possession. So 10:43 to go in the first half. PW down 4-1. Martina feeds it to Mike Iannarelli. Iannarelli is going forward. He shoots it to the left, out of play. PW gets up to it, and it will remain with the Colonials. Uniform for Brandon Sullivan. Had it and passed it to Iannarelli. Iannarelli now to Kenny Diamond. Diamond lost control, but it is recovered by Kassan. Sullivan headed off to Severus. Iannarelli now he's moving ahead. That one is blocked. Second effort is lost. Puts that one in. It's going to go out of play. PW's going to get up to it. More beautiful stick work done by goalkeeper Matt Rink for the Knights. $9:37 to go in quarter two. North Penn 4, PW 1. The Knights scored the first 4 of this one. Here's Eric Diamond, uniform 5, no relation to Kenny. Kenny Diamond, who just went for the bench for the Colonials. North Penn in powder blue and white, PW in all white. North Penn now shooting right to left. Max Lerman. Lerman taking his time. Knights with the control and up by 3. Knights are moving ahead, but taking time. Wiesiedinsky scored the first 2 goals of the game. We have a whistle. In the crease area. And it will go the other way, PW possession. Nicely done by the Colonials. Brian Gregg calling for an attack on the PW sidelines. PW's next 2 games are also home, as that one is out of play with 8:20 to go in the first half. PW's next 2 games are against teams that are combined 0-9. April 7th against Abington, which is 0-4, and April 11th against Penncrest, which is 0-5. And Penncrest, believe it or not, 3 years ago in 2014, won the state title over Avon Grove. Mike Iannarelli trying to go out with it. No flag. It will go the other way. PW faithful surprised with the call by the officials, but it's not what we see, it's what the officials see. 8 minutes to go in the first half. North Penn 4, Plymouth Whitemarsh 1. Again, I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. This is non-league boys lacrosse on Colonial Instructional Television. Wednesday, April 5th, 2017. A few days away from spring break beginning. Spring break is scheduled from April 10th through 16th, also during the holidays of Passover and Easter. And now puts it inside. That is outside the cage, off the netting. Lerman, he'll pull the trigger. That goes to the left side of the cage. North Penn gets after it and will retain possession. Eric Laughlin will come in for Max Lerman for the Knights. $7:12 to go in the first half. 4-1 North Penn. Stephen Rink had that one denied. It goes close to the middle of the field here at Victory Fields. Danny Payne with it. Fed it off to Nick Kime. Kime gives it to Matt Dixon. Stephen Rink. Rink moving ahead on Iannarelli. Now goes to the inside, fires it through. Nice save. And the Colonial keeper. Now Colonials will move ahead with the possession. We'll have a bunch of substitutions coming in. North Penn is up 4-1. We haven't had a goal since a minute 39 to go in the first quarter. We have 6:17 to go in the second quarter. PW looking to get within 2. Sullivan. Savarez. Savarez had 2 goals in the 9-8 playoff loss to North Penn a year ago. Vince Martina, who has PW's lone goal with this one. Now we have 5:50 to go in the first half. The Knights are up 4-1 over PW. Puts it to the right side, not on target. Possession will remain with PW. The Colonials retain possession. Again, North Penn in the powder blue and white, PW in the all white. This is boys lacrosse on CITV. Both of these teams have not started league play yet. PW is in Continental American. North Penn is in Suburban 1 National. Now with 5:20 to go in the first half. PW still down 4-1. Brendan Sullivan looking for breathing room. Fires it inside, puts it down, saved by Matt Rink. That's a beautiful one. And now he'll advance it ahead. Laughlin. I believe Risa Dinsky, uniform 7, has it. Scored the first 2 goals of this one. And again, entered this game with 9 assists. So he also likes to share. Adensky tried to feed it inside. And it will be Plymouth Whitemarsh possession. He attempted to feed it to Tanner Nelson, but Nelson could not come up with it. And Nelson takes a seat. He's uniform 12 in powder blue, and now Colonials have it. 4:24 to go in the first half. North Penn 4, Plymouth Whitemarsh 1. I believe PW has won 2 Suburban 1 American titles. I believe that was back in 2011 and 2012. The 2011 team had Colin Joka, who had over 180 goals, I believe, in his PW career. And then he went on to go to Marist College. I believe that's up in Poughkeepsie, New York. 3:55 to go in the first half. PW is down by 3, 4-1 over against North Penn. That one is fired by Diamond. They'll go out of play. PW retains possession. PW has been very aggressive. But Matt Rink has turned away a lot of shots, and PW has been off target on many as well. Kenny Diamond going inside, fires, mishandles it. And it will now go to North Penn. $3:30 to go in quarter 2 and the first half. It's still North Penn 4, Plymouth Whitemarsh 1. North Penn now going right to left on your screens. That one is blocked by PW. The Colonials should come up with it. Now it'll be a goal toss. Plymouth Whitemarsh has the possession. Now we'll have a few substitutions as well. And we have a running clock. There are 4 quarters total, 12 minutes in regulation. PW has played in 2 overtime games this season, and both were by scores of 7-6, and both were against Central League foes. Lost to Harridan and won at Lower Merion those contests. But PW has to get closer in order to think about trying to surge ahead. PW is still down 4-1. No scoring still in the second quarter. Assistant Coach Paul Morrow checking to see how many timeouts are left. PW has 1 left. PW had to use a timeout early on after falling behind at least 3-0. Now 2:20 to go in the first half. Still 4-1 North Penn. PW in white with the possession. Brandon Sullivan behind the cage. Matt Rink waiting for it. Sullivan trying to look someone to advance it to. Colin Casana's also there. He has it. But he won't shoot it. Don't want to be too pass happy. Alex Savarez. Iannarelli now to Martina, who has PW's lone goal. That was in the first quarter. Lost control. Savarez is going to try to get back with it against Laughlin. Minute 27 to go in the first half. And once we go to halftime, we'll take a break. It's a call against the Colonials. It'll be North Penn ball. PW will make a few substitutions. Which includes Aaron Olsovsky, uniform 5 for PW, but he will not check in immediately. Kenny Diamond will still remain. PW gets it back with a minute to go in the first half. We have whistles, and PW will use its second timeout. No timeout, Plymouth Whitemarsh. 57 seconds to go in quarter 2, which is also the first half. North Penn Knights 4, Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials 1. Again, I'm 2011 Plymouth Whitemarsh alumnus Scott Samuel David Weiss. This is our first spring 2017 broadcast. Glad you have joined us. Of course, during the winter season, we had to reschedule our broadcasts due to inclement weather. And also, we had to miss a girls' basketball playoff game due to the school board meeting. And of course, speaking of the school board, we wish our superintendent, Dr. Mary Ellen Gordleser, best of luck as she had announced her retirement in February 2017. I think it will be effective after August of 2017. So the search is on, and she has done great things since coming in for Dr. Vincent Cotter in 2011. So we wish nothing but the best for Dr. Gordleser. A lot has changed, including Plymouth Whitemarsh's renovations internally and externally. So it's sad to see her go, but again, we wish Mary Ellen Gordleser nothing but the best once her time is up with the Colonial School District. So again, if you want to find out more about CITV programming, visit us online, www.colonialsd.org/community/CITV. Now, PW has 1 goal with 57 seconds to go in the first half. In fact, already with 5 single-digit goal games in 6 contests this season. Last season, PW had single-digit goals 8 times. So to have single-digit goals in 5 of your first 6 games is not very effective. Again, PW averages 7 goals a game, 9.3 allowed. Now PW with the possession after the timeout. 53 seconds to go in the first half. Brandon Sullivan behind the cage. He'll feed it off to Savarez. Again, there's been no scoring in the second quarter. All 5 of the goals combined were in the first. 30 seconds to go in the first half. 4-1 North Penn. PW looking to get within 2. Sullivan. He was pushed in. And it is a penalty against the Knights. And it is a foul. It's a 30-second foul. So, second power play of this one for the Colonials. PW could not cash in on its only opportunity. Now the Colonials looking to get within 2 and head into halftime, feeling more comfortable than in the first quarter.
10,
Diamond is denied.
7,
Ball is up in the air,
5, 4,
and it looks like the half is going to end 4-1. After the first 24 minutes of regulation, North Penn Knights 4, Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials 1. All the scoring had been done in the first quarter. North Penn led 4-1, including 4-0, and with 3:41 to go in the first quarter. But ever since the first quarter ended, a lot of PW opportunities, but could not cash in. So again, we're in halftime. It is North Penn leading Plymouth Whitemarsh 4-1. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. We'll be back with more boys lacrosse action on CITV. Welcome back to Boys Lacrosse on CITV. Once again, I'm 2011 Plymouth Whitemarsh alumnus Scott Samuel David Weiss. After the first 24 minutes of regulation, North Penn leads Plymouth Whitemarsh 4-1. North Penn got off to a hot 4-0 lead start before PW put one toward the end of the first quarter. But in the second quarter, there were no goals. And believe it or not, that was the first time this season North Penn had been held scoreless in a quarter. The previous 9 quarters, they had scored. The power play continues from the second quarter. It's about to end, and it ends, but PW has possession, but North Penn comes up with it. That power play carried over from the second quarter. We're at even strength. Each team have had 2 power plays. North Penn is 2 for 2, PW 0 for 2. That one's going to go to the side on the right. And it's going to remain with North Penn. North Penn now shooting left to right, PW right to left. North Penn in powder blue and white, PW in all white. Max Lerman, who has North Penn's last goal, which was at 3:41 to go in the first quarter. In North Penn's previous 2 games, they led Lansdale Catholic 8-1 at the half and trailed Downingtown East 8-4. Beat Lansdale Catholic 13-7, lost to Downingtown East 12-6. There's Tanner Nelson. Now feeds it inside. Back to Lerman. There's the West. There are 2 flags. There'll be a 1-minute slash against the Colonials. So it'll be the third power play opportunity, we believe, for North Penn.
Ricky, 9:27.
The North Penn with the possession. Reese Adensky fires, but it goes behind to the left side. It will remain with the Knights. That's going to go to the side. It will still remain with the Knights. Reese Adensky with it. He scored the first 2 goals of the game.
30 seconds.
Again, he is going to Virginia Military Institute for football. And he was the quarterback of the 2016 District 1 6A North Penn Knights football champions. That one is deflected. Now Danny Payne fired. Now they will go behind. That was an attempt by Nick Kime. 9:30 to go in the third quarter. 4-1 North Penn. Power play fails for North Penn. Risadinsky is denied. He's uniform 7 in powder blue, but he has it. And Nick Kime puts it through. Boom, shakalaka. Nick Kime gets North Penn back on the board with 9:10 to go in the third quarter. It is now North Penn 5, Plymouth Whitemarsh 1. He had an opening and did not disappoint. But for the PW faithful, it's agony, as the Colonials are now down once again by 4. Now, North Penn, of course, coming off a 12-6 loss at Downingtown East, March 28th. But the last time the Knights have lost back-to-back games, you have to go back to April 15th to April 30th, 2015, when they dropped 6 consecutive games. But at this point, doesn't look like it. PW has to play a whole lot better. Now feeds it inside, I save. Out of play. And it will remain with the Colonials. So it's North Penn 5, Plymouth Whitemarsh 1, 8:34 to go in the third quarter. Again, we have 4 12-minute quarters. And that when we get at 2 minutes remaining in the game, stalling rules could be in effect. We're a long way away from it. PW with possession in white, down 4. Brandon Sullivan. He's looking for the cage. He'll fire. And it will be grounded out of play. PW will retain possession, as PW was the last team to run after it. Now Colonials maintain it. Annie Diamond. Hustling, fires, out of play. Will remain with PW still. W has done a great job throughout this game, hustling to retain possession. But the Knights have been able to capitalize off PW mistakes. And the last goal was by Nick Kime with 9:10 to go in the third quarter for the Knights. It was the first goal since Vince Martina of PW with 1:39 to go in quarter 1. Martina looking to make it 2 for the game. He bounces it out of play. Now Alex Severus just able to get further than Eric Laughlin of North Penn, uniform 10 in the powder blue. The North Penn of Lansdale, PW of Plymouth meeting. And this is our first spring 2017 sports broadcast. And the first 2 sports seasons have been very good. That one is bounced on the ground. North Penn comes up with it. That is out of the stick. Whistle. Out of bounds. Possession, Plymouth Whitemarsh. Great move by Plymouth Whitemarsh to force North Penn out of the boundaries. So PW down 4, 5-1 North Penn with 6:40 to go in the third quarter. Martina has it. Feed it to Severus. Now to Sullivan. Sullivan is behind the cage. No one is going after him. Now Severus, he has Laughlin on him. Martina. 6:20 remaining in the third quarter. Still 5-1 North Penn. PW has never led in this one. Diamond loses control, and it is stolen away by Max Lerman. Lerman will clear the zone. Substitutions will be made all around for both teams. Risadinsky with the possession. Zelinsky again played football in the fall as quarterback, basketball in the winter. Had both of those teams go to the state tournament. Again, Adinsky is going to VMI for football. That is a Division I AA school. Flyers out of play. Adinsky is there first. So remain with the Knights of North Penn. That one's fired in there. Boom! Shaka-laka. Nick Conroy puts it in there with 5:27 to go in the third quarter. North Penn has its largest lead at 5. It's now North Penn 6, Plymouth Whitemarsh 1. And the wheels are coming off here in the beginning of the second half. It's the third quarter. North Penn has scored 2 goals in this third 12-minute session. PW hasn't scored since the 1:39 to go mark in the first quarter. So 5-goal lead for North Penn. And again, North Penn last season had 10-plus goals 14 times, including 9 in the first 10 games. Started the season 9-1. North Penn hoping to have some deja vu this season. Now Mike Iannarelli with it. PW really has to get going. Iannarelli going through it. That is denied, but PW gets it back. Puts it through. Boom! Shaka-laka. Colin Cassan right now looks like he has the goal. We believe it's him. It's his first of the game, and Cassan, we believe, with the goal. We are not certainly sure because there were a lot of bodies on the cage. So it's now North Penn 6, Plymouth Whitemarsh 2, 5:10 to go in the third quarter. Now PW has to keep going is up. And it's a hold. Will be possession PW. Maybe the break the Colonials need. Play on. Kenny Diamond feeds it to Sullivan. Now back to Diamond. Under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. North Penn is up 6-2 over PW. PW again has scored double-digit goals just once this season. It was 14-8 in a victory over Neshaminy back on March 27th. Neshaminy is North Penn's next opponent on April 7th. Ivan Tavares, but it's into the goalie's stick. North Penn with it, and it will go out of play. PW will get it back. So Brian Gregg and company for PW looking to make a comeback. Again, this is Brian Gregg's third season at the helm for PW. Before that was Phil Chang, who had been there since the start, which I believe was 2004. Again, PW has been in the playoffs 8 straight years, but just one playoff win to show for it. There's no whistle. Eric Laughlin has it now for North Penn. Sullivan jars it loose. Bodies have it for North Penn. Laughlin comes up with it. Stephen Rink. Feeds it to Nick Conroy. Conroy with feeding now to Adinsky. Adinsky entered this game with 3 goals and 9 assists. That total is greater because he scored the first 2 goals of this one. 3:23 to go in the third quarter. North Penn is up 6-2. North Penn has won the last 2 games in this series. PW won the game before. It was 10-9 overtime back on April 27th of 2015. Of course, these 2 teams met to open the regular season last year. 17-8 North Penn, and PW lost in a close one in the first round of district playoffs. 9-8 to North Penn. Again, it was North Penn's first ever playoff victory. The Knights then lost to Garnet Valley in the second round, 15-5. And if PW would have won that, we would have had a Plymouth Whitemarsh Garnet Valley doubleheader in the second round for both boys and girls lacrosse, because the PW girls lacrosse team lost to Garnet Valley at Garnet Valley in the second round, 20-4, in which Emily Mathewson scored a record-breaking goal for Garnet Valley. That one is through. Boom! Shakalaka. Matt Dixon puts it into the cage. Uniform 15 with 2:43 to go in the third quarter, and it's now North Penn 7, Plymouth Whitemarsh 2. Dixon will get some celebratory fist pumps on the sideline from Rick Smith and company. Again, the lead is up to 5 for North Penn. North Penn has led the entire way. In fact, the first goal was scored 7:46 to go in quarter one by Risa Densky, and ever since, North Penn has not looked back. The closest PW has gotten to the Knights had been 4-1. Now 3-1 North Penn advantage in this third quarter. PW will get possession here. Martina and Diamond will come back in for the Colonials. Iannarelli. Going to the cage. That one goes through. Boom! Shakalaka! Mike Iannarelli gets on the board. And PW now pulls within 4. It's now North Penn 7, Plymouth Whitemarsh 3. With 2:23 to go in the third quarter. So there have been 5 goals in the first quarter, 5 goals now in the third quarter combined. There were no goals in quarter 2. And again, North Penn being scoreless in the second quarter marked the first time this season North Penn failed to score in a 12-minute session. So PW now down 4 with 2:23 to go in this third quarter. And again, I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. It's April 5th, 2017 now. A little breezy here in the around the mid-60s and sunny. North Penn comes up with it. Lee Sedensky. Against Will Malley. Sedensky still on Malley. With under 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Still 7-3 North Penn Knights over the PW Colonials here in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. And again, the District 1 3A lacrosse playoffs begin May 16th, circumstances permitted. I believe CITV temporarily has a baseball game broadcast scheduled for broadcast that day as well, but it's a wait and see. Knights with the control, fires, thick save. Now it's a ground ball, and PW gets it. Now PW will get back and reset. Approaching a minute to go in the third quarter, North Penn 7, Plymouth Whitemarsh 3. The Knights have led this entire game. A minute to go in the third quarter. Now PW with possession. Sullivan will get it back. And the last time these two teams faced off each other, PW had a 7-6 lead entering the fourth quarter. That was the 9-8 playoff victory for North Penn as the 11th seed over the 22nd seeded Colonials. That was again back on May 17th, 2016. 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. PW looking to pull within 3. 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. Martina will have to hurry. Sullivan loses it. Gets it back. Fires it. And it is stick saved. And that is the end of the third quarter. So we have 36 minutes in the books here in Plymouth Meeting. North Penn with 3 the third quarter. PW with 2. That makes it now North Penn 7. Plymouth Whitemarsh 3. We have 12 minutes to go in regulation. Again, PW has not scored double-digit goals in 4 consecutive games. Again, if PW fails to score 10 goals in this one, it'll be the first time they would have failed to score 10-plus goals in 5 straight games Since the 2014 season, April 11th through 21st, 2014, they went 1-4 and lost 15-0 to Upper Dublin. So again, I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. It's Wednesday, April 5th, 2017, the CITV first spring broadcast of PW Sports. And again, if you want to find out more information about CITV, please visit us online at www.colonialsd.org/community/CITV. The CITV upcoming broadcast list includes baseball and girls lacrosse, but our next intended broadcast is scheduled for Thursday, April 6th, 2017, which is also the same day as Legoland Discovery Center at the Plymouth Meeting Mall. So it will be a fun grand opening, and based on current weather forecast, there's a possibility that there will be a torrential downpour coming in Plymouth Meeting, and there's a possibility we may not bring you baseball on April 6th, but forecasts can change. We still have 12 minutes of regulation in this one. Reese Adinsky had the first 2 goals of the game. North Penn had the first 4, and then PW got within 4-1. There were no goals in the second quarter, but it was a 3-2 advantage for North Penn in that third quarter over PW. Nick Kime, Nick Conroy, and Matt Dixon were solo goals, and Colin Cassan and Mike Iannarelli had the tallies for PW. And again, I'm sorry if we are mispronouncing any names, but it's been a fun game. This way, PW not scoring a lot. There are 12 more minutes remaining in regulation. And again, North Penn has not been in an overtime game since April 21st, 2016, in which they had to go to 3 extra sessions, won 10-9 versus Central Bucks East, a team that they trailed 1 game back of for the Suburban 1 Continental title last year. PW gets the face-off. PW down 7-3 against North Penn. 8:47 to go in regulation. And again, stalling rules can apply with 2 minutes to go. Now we have substitutions. Diamond will come back in for PW, and Max Lerman enters for North Penn. So 11:30 to go in regulation. PW down 4. Closest they had been to was 3. That one is mishandled, and it looks like it's going to go to North Penn. Knights with the possession now. Max Lerman will get it. Rick Smith telling his team what to do. Now, North Penn trying to box in. Tanner Nelson feeds it to Kime. Now back to Nelson. Lerman on the top of the key. And that one's going to go out of play. That is a miscue. It will go in favor of PW, but the Colonials are down 7-3 against North Penn with 10:51 to go in regulation. The least amount of goals this season PW has allowed had been, based on my check, 6. It was 7-6 overtime win at Lower Merion back on April 1st, and it was no April Fool's joke. Now PW gives it up. Wiesadinsky fires, goes against the cage. It'll be saved. PW will advance it forward. Iannarelli. Iannarelli getting teamed up. Now 10:15 to go in regulation. PW is down 7-3 against North Penn here in this non-league clash. And PW is in Continental American for lacrosse. North Penn, Suburban 1 National. Usually PW is Suburban 1 American, North Penn Suburban 1 Continental for all sports. These two teams are also rivals in girls volleyball and bowling. In fact, the North Penn boys bowling team got another league title this year. Did not go to the state tournament this year, though. That one is fired out of play. It will go the other way. North Penn's boys bowling team became the first Suburban 1 Continental American school to qualify for the bowling state tournament in the regional era, which is since 2007. That was back in 2016. Came in 10th place. This year, North Penn did not come anywhere close to making top 6 at Eastern PA Regionals to make states. So we have under 10 minutes to go, 9:20 to be exact, in this game. PW is down 7-3. And again, none of these teams scored in the second quarter. That one is off the foot, and PW comes up with it. Now fires in there. Sullivan puts it through. Boom, shakalaka. There's Brandon Sullivan getting on the board. It's now North Penn 7, Plymouth Whitemarsh 4 with 8:54 to go in regulation. Sullivan has been around the cage throughout this one and finally comes up with a shake and bake goal. And folks, PW has scored the last 2 goals. It's a 2-0 scoring one for the Colonials. It's PW's first of any kind this game. Eric Diamond comes up with it. And now PW gets it. There's a push. It should be PW possession, and it is. It was a push against North Penn. Here come the Colonials. And hold on, we have a player down. Yikes. The PW assistant coach and AJ the trainer coming on. Some players are going to their knees. There's a gesture, a solid of goodwill. Wow, just got mauled near the cage. And it's going to be PW possession. Now again, this is Scott Samuel David Weiss for Colonial Instructional Television, our first broadcast of the spring. And PW has been to the District 1 playoffs in each of the past 8 seasons. The first playoff appearance was 2009, a 7-4 loss at Abington. Following year lost 9-4 at Downingtown West, and the following year, 2011, lost 10-9 at Pennsbury before getting that elusive first playoff victory against Avon Grove 8-7 in overtime before losing the 14-6 at CB East in the second round. PW has lost its last 4 playoff games, and this is a big concern. You see a few Colonials, 4, and Brian Gregg is now standing. And PW has momentum this fourth quarter. In fact, on the PW side, a few players are getting some water to drink. And this is not good. Not getting up instantly. Fans are in shock, disbelief, silenced. We have 8:44 to go in regulation. North Penn Knights 7, Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials 4. North Penn scored the first 4 goals in this contest, and yes, he gets up. It's a huge sigh of relief, but he'll have to get taken out for precautionary reasons. Now, PW will have possession. And AJ, the trainer, able to get the player walking, and that's a good sign. For the time being, PW with possession, down now 7-4. Brandon Sullivan with the last goal with 8:54 to go in regulation. Will Malley, for PW now, Brandon Sullivan. PW has scored the last 2 goals in this one. 8:20 to go in quarter 4. Remember, 2 minutes to go. Stall rules will be in effect. It is a new rule by the PWHS. Sullivan now feeds it to Savaris. Now back to Brandon Sullivan. Sullivan has been around the cage all day. They did a diamond. Diamond looked to pull the trigger. He won't. Fires. Lost control. PW gets it back. Sullivan. Sullivan gets checked. And it's a push. PW will maintain the possession. We'll get it on the corner. 7:40 to go in regulation. Plymouth Whitemarsh is down 7-4 against North Penn in this non-league lacrosse showdown. 5th day of April 2017. Diamond fires, gets it blocked. And now there's more work to do for PW. Need to get more aggressive. North Penn with the possession. North Penn clears. Rysadinsky out near the circle, the center circle. Rysadinsky again at the first 2 goals of this game. Again going to Virginia Military Institute for Football. He is a senior. Rysadinsky fires. It'll go out of play. Nick Kime is the first to get after it. Will remain with the Knights. PW is down 7-4 with 6:43 to go in regulation. A goal here by North Penn could be too little too late for the Colonials. Lerman. Now features a Danny Payne. Payne had 2 goals in the last game, 1 in the first game. He has 3 goals this season. And it will go the other way to Plymouth Whitemarsh. Again, PW now going left to right. North Penn right to left. North Penn in the powder blue and white. PW in the all white. Of course, I don't believe there's a shot clock necessarily in high school lacrosse, but you can't wait too long. Now fires nearly intercepted. The stick comes out. Beautiful move there by Max Lerman. That's kicked by PW. There's Kenny Diamond. In white, number 12 for PW. Caleb Kelly enters for the Colonials, uniform 27 in white. Now Vince Martina. Getting guarded by Danny Payne. Goes inside. Was nearly intercepted. There's a trip and there's a flag. Officials are going to discuss who's it's against. 2 flags were thrown. And it's a push. Brandon Ullman guilty of the cross check, and it'll be man up for the Colonials. PW to get within 2 with 5:27 to go in regulation. So Ullman guilty of contact. He is on the sidelines waiting to get back in on this power play for PW. PW has not cashed in yet. Puts it through. Boom shakalaka! Sullivan scores for the 2nd consecutive time. PW on a 3-0 run with 5:12 to go in regulation. And it's now North Penn 7, Plymouth Whitemarsh 5. Hang on, folks. This one is not over yet. PW had been denied on its previous few power play opportunities. And here we go. 2-goal difference. With 5:12 to go in regulation, Brendan Sullivan with the last 2 goals of the game. Be important to win this face-off if you're PW. There you go. And we're sorry if you hear any foul language. It is a very intense game. Martina gets it loose, loses control. He gets it back. He has some room. Now inside. Nicely done there. Sullivan puts it in. Boom! Shakalaka! throw to hat. Sullivan has scored the last 3 goals. PW on a 4-0 run. It is now North Penn 7, Plymouth Whitemarsh 6. It was at 1.7-2 North Penn. A hat trick for Sullivan. Goodness, maybe seeing shades of what happened in the May 17, 2016 playoff game. Team had a lead entering the 4th quarter and couldn't hold on. The NPW had led that one 7-6 and had been outscored 3-1 in the final 12 minutes and lost 9-8 and had been sent packing from the playoffs. North Penn then lost to Garnet Valley 15-5 in the second round. PW with possession, looking to tie for the first time in this contest. What a 4th quarter, a 3-0 scoring one this 4th quarter, a 4-0 run overall for PW. Remember, it was 7-2 at one point in the 3rd quarter in favor of North Penn. 4:24 to go in regulation. Again, stalling rules could apply in 2 minutes left. Now PW with possession, looking to tie it up. Last 3 goals by Brandon Sullivan. The other 3 goals have been by Martina, Kassan, and Iannarelli for PW. Now looking to go inside. Diamond cannot come with it. And it's stolen away by Max Lerman. W's got to get numbers, and Lerman will take it easy. Now we have 3:50 to go in regulation. North Penn clinging now to a 7-6 lead thanks to a 4-0 scoring run, including a 3-0 run in this 4th quarter by PW, including a power play tally. Now there's Lerman. And that one is lost. PW will come up with it. It's Martina. North Penn has really lost control. And there's a flag. It's going to go against Lerman. Excessive contact from the back. Another power play for the Colonials. And boy, this second half, PW has outscored North Penn 5-3. Had just 1 goal in the first 24 minutes. And has 3 goals in the last 5 minutes and 34 seconds. Timeout North Penn. That is a wise decision made by Rick Smith to call it here because North Penn has lost all the momentum because it looked like North Penn was going to pull away in this one because entering this 4th quarter was 7-3 North Penn. So again, I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. Directing the game in our truck is Tom Peeler, our audio video technician, and assistant director of CITV, Kim Newell. And again, coaches, Rick Smith, his 7th season for North Penn. He's 45-67. PW is led by Brian Gregg in his 3rd season at 25-18. In fact, before 2016, North Penn had not had a winning season for a long time. In fact, maybe not ever. 2015, 7-11. 2014, 5-13. The Knights were 3-15 in 2013. Won the first game before losing its next 15 before winning the final 2 games. So to go through a 15-game losing streak had to definitely take a big toll out of Smith. 2012, the Knights were 7-11. 2011, 6-12. In 2010, when the season before Smith entered at the helm, the Knights were 4-14. And again, North Penn had 10-plus goals 14 times last season. And it looked like at one point North Penn was going to run away with this one. And again, North Penn has not scored since 2:43 to go in the 3rd quarter by Matt Dixon. PW has scored, unbelievably, the last 4 goals, one by Iannarelli and the last 3 by Brandon Sullivan. And again, PW is on the power play. It's second in the last few minutes as Max Lerman had a big hit in the back. And so Max Lerman, uniform 3, should be on the sidelines. So now PW with possession, 3:18 to go in regulation. And the PW scores here. The roof is going to come off wherever the roof is. 3:06 to go in regulation. Now fires inside, out of play. PW will run up to it first. Great hustle by Mike Iannarelli to get up to it. 3 minutes to go in regulation. 2:55 now to go in regulation. Now inside, lost control of the ball, and North Penn comes up with it temporarily. Now lost control, but it goes directly to North Penn. Now the Knights have it with 2:30 to go. 30 seconds. Stalling rules will go in effect. 6 on the power play. And it will be conversion failed for the Colonials. Lisa Dinsky fires. And it goes in. Boom. Shakalaka. Reese and Dinsky breaks the 4-0 run. That's at least his third of the game with 2:14 to go in regulation. And it's now North Penn 8, Plymouth Whitemarsh 6. No more margin for error now for the Colonials. Adinsky was very alert, doinked it in there, and just went past the plane of the cage. PW had all the momentum this fourth quarter. PW is outscoring the Knights this quarter, 3-1. Again, PW had just one goal in the first 24 minutes of regulation. And it will now go to the Knights on that face-off. Fired, out of play. North Penn gets it. 2 minutes, 8 seconds to go in regulation. In 8 seconds, stalling rules will be in effect for North Penn. So the Knights will have to keep it in. 5 seconds until we have stall. 2 minutes to go in regulation. Stalling rules are in effect for North Penn. You got to keep it in. You got to get a quick stop here if you're Plymouth Whitemarsh. You're allowed to push, but you can't get too obsessive. So Lisa Dinsky had the last goal, 2:14 to go in the fourth quarter. There's Adinsky. Now it's Nick Conroy. Conroy getting guarded by James Hahn. Now we've got 1:23 to go in regulation. Colonials are not putting the foot on the accelerator, applying the brakes. There's 1:13 to go. You really need to stop now if you're Brian Gregg's squad. And stepped out of play. PW gets the possession. I think Rick Smith wanted a timeout, and that's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against Rick Smith. He wanted a timeout and did not get it. Was displeased with the official. Said some things he probably shouldn't have. Not sure they were curse words, but it earns an unsportsmanlike conduct. There'll be a player-up advantage for Plymouth Whitemarsh. It's coming at a crucial time. 1:07 to go in regulation. PW is down 8-6, and again, PW has scored under 10 goals in each of the last 4 games, and it's timeout for Brian Gregg. Just to settle down and address his plays. And it will be an unsportsmanlike conduct against Danny Payne. I thought it would have been against Rick Smith, the coach, but I think Payne was upset as well. So Danny Payne will have to serve 1 minute unless PW scores. So it's 1:07 to go in regulation. North Penn 8, Plymouth Whitemarsh 6 against Scott Samuel David Weiss here on this April 5th, 2017 from Victory Fields in Plymouth meeting, Pennsylvania. Again, our next scheduled broadcast tentatively for Thursday, April 6th. Baseball was Hicken versus Plymouth Whitemarsh, but there's a good possibility that it could get rained out. And again, forecasts can always change. By the time you watch this, the game could already be happening if weather did permit for the game to happen for baseball. So Brian Gregg, his 3rd season. A heck of a second half for PW. Had been down 7-3 entering the fourth quarter. gave up the first 4 goals of the game, then scored the first 3 in this fourth quarter before Rysadinsky nailed one inside Doington, actually, with 2:14 to go in this quarter. And now, and it would be Danny Payne, I believe was number 1. Uniform 51 is on the sidelines. Nick Kime. 1 minute to go of regulation. PW is down 2. We'll need to get a quick score here. But that one is temporarily intercepted. McLaughlin gets it. PW trying to get it back. Loose ball. Kicked. Inside. The ground ball is there. Sullivan. Now 40 seconds to go. Need one right now. We'll need to shoot right now. Martina can't shoot it. He finds the hole inside. It is blocked and saved by, I believe, Matt Rink. 24 seconds to go in regulation. The ball is jarred loose by Sullivan. Timeout, North Penn. 18 seconds to go in regulation. Rick Smith definitely did not like what he was seeing. It gives PW a break. So 18 seconds to go in regulation. North Penn 8, Plymouth Whitemarsh 6 again. The stall rules are still in effect because North Penn is up by 4 goals or less. So North Penn has possession. The Knights have to keep it in. So in this game, the first quarter, Rysadinsky had the first 2 goals of the game. Max Lerman also had a goal. Vince Martina had PW's lone tally in the first half. That was 1:39 to go in the first quarter. The second quarter, there were no goals. The only quarter this season so far, North Penn had been held scoreless. In the third quarter, Kime, Conroy, and Dixon scored for the Knights. Kassan and Iannarelli scored for Plymouth Whitemarsh. In the fourth quarter, Sullivan had the first 3 goals. And then Adinsky broke the 4-0 PW run with 2:14 to go in this final period of regulation. Plymouth Whitemarsh had been down by as many as 5-7-2. And also 6-1. So the Colonials will have to go back in, still player up with 11 seconds to go, but you really need to get one in the next 5 seconds. And again, North Penn has not been to an overtime game since April 21st, 2016, which went to 3 overtimes, 10-9 win versus Central Bucks East. PW will most likely be held to single-digit goals for the 5th straight game, which will be the first time that's happened since April of 2014. Now the Knights have it. It's Adinsky. 8 on the power play. PW unable to come up with it. 10 seconds to go. The ball comes out. Adinsky gets it back. 5 seconds left. And North Penn dodges a bullet. That's it, folks. North Penn survives against Plymouth Whitemarsh. The final score, the North Penn Knights 8, Plymouth Whitemarsh 6. PW had come back down 7-2, made it within 7-6. But Rysadinsky was able to put in the dagger, which was just a doinker with 2:14 to go in regulation. And it's more heartbreak for PW. The Colonials dropped to 2-5 on the season. It's the 5th straight game the Colonials have failed to score 10 goals. It's the first time that has happened since April 11th to April 21st, 2014. But for North Penn, it is the 2nd win in the season, proved the 2-1. Rick Smith all time now 46 and 67. So the final score is North Penn 8 and Plymouth Whitemarsh 6. That's another edition of CITV Sports. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. For more information regarding CITV, visit us online, colonialsd.org/community/CITV. Have a good afternoon, everyone.